always reminding you that kapag happy ang spouse,
Magiging happy ang buong house.
Welcome sa inyong lahat. Another episode, interesting topic. But before that, love,
Mag-like, mag-subscribe. Social media accounts katulad ng Facebook, ng Instagram, meron din po tayo sa YouTube, TikTok, at saka ang Twitter.
bakit nga ba may taong seloso? Why do you think there are people who is always being jealous of some things or maybe to other people?
Hindi, or jealous sa husband or sa wife.
Or any relationship they have towards other people. For the sake of our discussion, jealousy between husband and wife or inside the marriage relationship. These are the questions na lagi po nilang tinatanong. Paulit-ulit na lang, we have to update you. Where are we going? What time are we coming home?
Why? Is there something wrong with it? Masama ba yun?
Hindi naman. Kailangan you have to explain saan ka punta. And then what time ka uuwi. At kung ano-ano pa ang mga tinatanong. People that, sometimes they don't understand how are they feeling, they assume bad things would happen.
May way kasi of asking na
Correct.
It doesn't sound like you are not trusting.
We're going to discuss about jealousy.
Jealousy can be considered as an emotion most of the time, including myself, including yourself.
Yes.
No one wants to admit tayo nagsiselos
You're being
or
jealous.
we're being jealous.
Yeah.
Diba? Jealousy can also be a reflection of our innermost thoughts.
Wow.
So we then project the emotion or ang ating nararamdaman onto our relationships. Jealousy also becomes toxic if it is left unchecked
Correct.
or hindi na-deal. Because of this key word, to trust, key component siya of any healthy relationship.
Okay, again, trust is a key component of any healthy
Or
relationship.
successful relationship.
Yeah, that's why we really have to understand why we have to deal with these kinds of emotion. Jealousy. We need to understand the root so that we can obey what God is telling us to do. We will give you some root causes. We will give you these things so that you'll be made aware. And at the same time, be able to talk it out with your spouse and then have a plan.
Sabi din sa Biblia, James 3:16, "For where you have envy and selfish ambition, there you find disorder and every evil practice." Proverbs chapter 27 verse 4. Sinabi rin dito that anger is cruel, wrath is like a flood, but jealousy is even more dangerous.
One of the roots of jealousy is this insecurity. The jealous person or spouse often begin with poor or low self-esteem. They do not feel a sense of worth. They might have grown up on a fantasy of marriage na minsan iniisip nila ang married life is like what they saw in magazine, movies, or in fairy tale. We are made in the image and likeness of God with a purpose and value. We will not be insecure. We know who we are.
May pinanggagalingan because of how we were raised probably.
Right.
Ano ba yung mga background, tapos yung din yung nakikita natin sa mga magulang. It is really very important for us to be able to not allow our children to see something in us. Hindi lang dahil sa gusto mong itago lang yun. It will be something that our children will also capture.
And they will think that it's okay.
Ano ba yung kulang sa atin? Ano ba yung wala natin? When we have been compared to someone else, is it something really na yung kailangan mong itago ito tapos bibit-bitin natin habang buhay? Kung ano yung aalagaan mo sa damdamin natin, di ba, it's going to grow and it's going to be hard.
And sometimes, being insecure, you are not aware that you are.
Unless someone else tells you.
That is why we are discussing it, so that you'll be able to understand and ask God in prayer, and then accountability. You ask your spouse, help me in this area. I think I'm being insecure because your salary is bigger than mine. I don't know why. Something like that.
Tayo lang ang nagmamanufacture niya. Lalo lang natin pinapalala yung sitwasyon ng puso natin.
Let's watch out and check our hearts that maybe we're being jealous because of this insecurity. Another one would be fear of abandonment, because the person is so insecure, all the things transpiring inside the marriage would always lead to thinking, maybe my spouse will leave me behind.
The most powerful thing that we can do is to pray for you na yung fear na yan, that specific fear of abandonment, maalis na sa atin. Kung
it should be removed, that fear. Because if we operate in fear, regardless if it's abandonment or what, that means we're not operating in faith. Because the opposite of fear is you operate in faith. We are created in the image of God. The insecurity should not be there. And of course, this fear of abandonment. So let's check our heart. Because in the marriage, you would always perceive things, whatever happens, whatever your spouse is doing, you feel jealous because you had that trauma, the fear of abandonment. Because it says people with abandonment issues can have difficulties in their marriage relationship. Another root cause of jealousy is this one.
Betrayal. Pagtataksil. It is anything that, violates a committed relationship ng isang taong napakamalapit sa'yo, lalong-lalo na kung ikaw ay kasal na, you're married,
betrayed, trust,
respect, and protection. I know that you can be trusted already. Ulit. Talagang nangako ka na. Pati sa mga anak natin. And then ginawa mo na naman.
You kept on repeating and repeating.
Alam naman natin that there are wives or even husbands na gracious, okay? Extend natin yon. Extend grace, extend forgiveness.
Now that we have identified this person, or sometimes my spouse feels this way kasi ito pala yung root cause. What are we to do now? Okay? We need to resolve things so we can identify the root of jealousy that we are exemplifying or portraying or feeling. You have to really ask yourself, ask God and the help of your spouse. Identify it. You'll be the one to know. Is it abandonment? Is it low self-esteem or insecurity? Or is it
betrayal?
After you identify, we said, communicate openly with your spouse and discuss truthfully.
Nagkasunduan na kayo na mag-uusap. Tapos biglang all of a sudden, tumiklop yung dila. Para dun sa isa na nag-aantay. Just be patient. If ayaw pa talaga today, kahit na sinabing, okay, I'm gonna say it, pero wag na nating kulit-kulitin.
It will take some time din, syempre. It needs also practice. It needs also yung organically. That's why you need to communicate it. Goal is to resolve, see what going to work inside this marriage relationship to be strengthened. What else can we do?
Be in the present moment.
Which means,
discuss natin sa ating asawa the reality, our relationship versus the expectations or perception of what it should be. Sometimes, is it really doable? Is that reality? Kung tayo magsiset ng ating mga expectations sa bawat isa.
Goals. There are uncertainties in life. Sometimes in life, in marriage relationship, there are things we cannot control. When you communicate, you can now start to discuss and help the jealous spouse.
Be in the present moment.
We help one another to identify things so that we will not be left being jealous. And there's another one also. This is speak life in every situation. What does that mean, love?
We can choose to join with what the world offers, or we can choose to go the opposite spirit. Ito lang world, mundo, o word, the word of God. Do we choose these offers, yung mundo, or do we choose to see the beautiful promises of God? So you speak life into your situation.
We wanna share also with you. Gagawin po natin, stop and then start. Yung sa stop, what can you stop doing right now that is hurting your spouse because of jealousy? In your own date nights or date days, please discuss. And then, what are we to start? What can you start doing to make this marriage relationship work? So that the hurting will stop, and then what can you start doing so that the marriage will be strengthened and the marriage relationship will work. Don't forget mag-discuss kayo Once again, I am Mary and Pena.
And this is Coach Chico declaring
na
ang bawat pamilya may pag-asa.
Happy spouse,
happy house.